The quantum sensors aboard the ESS Hawking lit up like a Christmas tree at precisely 300 Earth Standard Time. Dr. Sarah Chen nearly spilled her coffee as she leaned forward in her chair, her eyes widening at the readings scrolling across her holographic display. After 15 years of searching the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, they'd finally found something. And it wasn't just a signal, it was a cry for help. "Captain Morrison," she called out, her voice steadied despite her racing heart. "You need to see this." The captain's boots echoed across the bridge as he approached her station. James Morrison was a veteran of the Earth Space Force, but even he couldn't hide his amazement as he studied the readings. The signal was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. A complex pattern of quantum-entangled particles that somehow maintained coherence across vast distances of space. "Can you decode it?" Morrison asked, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the displays. Sarah's fingers flew across the holographic interface. "It's not encrypted. It's a universal mathematical sequence. They wanted anyone who found this to understand." She paused, her expression growing grave. "Sir, it's a distress call from the Centauri Nexus. They're under attack." The Centauri Nexus, humanity's closest alien neighbors, discovered just 3 years ago. Their first contact had been cautious but peaceful, though the highly advanced civilization had kept humanity at arm's length, sharing only the most basic cultural and technological information. Morrison straightened, his jaw set. "Alert Earth Command. We're the closest ship to the Nexus. How long to get there at maximum burn?" 17 hours, sir." "Make it 15. Sound general quarters." As klaxons blared throughout the ship, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to step into something far bigger than a simple rescue mission. The quantum signal contained layers of information she was still decoding, patterns that hinted at a complexity that made her skin crawl. The ESS Hawking dropped out of hyperspace on the edges of the Centauri Nexus system 16 hours later. The scene that greeted them sent chills down Sarah's spine. The massive ring structure that served as the Nexus's central hub was dark, its usual crystalline glow replaced by occasional bursts of emergency lighting. Debris fields scattered across space told a story of recent violence. Multiple contacts called out Lieutenant Rodriguez from Tactical. Reading 15. No, 20 ships of unknown configuration. They're not Nexus designs. Morrison leaned forward in his command chair. "Life signs on the station." "Faint but present," Sarah reported, studying her readings. "The station's core systems are failing. Environmental controls are critical." "Sir," Rodriguez's voice was tense. "The unknown vessels are moving to surround us." A new signal cut through their communications, a harsh, grating voice that seemed to scrape against Sarah's ears, even through the universal translator. "Vessel of Earth, you have entered a restricted zone. Leave immediately or be destroyed." Morrison's expression hardened. "This is Captain James Morrison of the Earth Space Force vessel Hawking. We're responding to a distress signal from our allies. Stand down and identify yourselves." The response came in the form of weapons fire. A burst of exotic energy slammed into the Hawking's shields, making the entire ship shudder. "Shields at 82%, Rodriguez reported calmly. "Their weapons are like nothing we've seen before." Morrison's voice was steel. "Return fire, defensive pattern Delta. Get me Earth Command now." Sarah's hands flew across her console as she worked to strengthen their communication signal. But as she did, she noticed something strange in the quantum data still streaming from the Nexus. Hidden beneath the distress call was another layer of information, a warning. "Captain," she called out, her voice urgent. "The signal. There's more. The Nexus isn't just under attack. They were targeted because they discovered something. Something about an ancient threat that's been manipulating species across the galaxy for millennia." Another hit rocked the ship. "Shields at 65%. Morrison's eyes met Sarah's. "What kind of threat?" Before she could answer, a massive surge of energy erupted from the supposedly disabled Nexus station. A web of quantum-entangled particles spread across space like a net, trapping both the Hawking and the attacking vessels in its grasp. A new voice echoed through their communication system, neither human nor belonging to their attackers. "We apologize for the deception, Earth vessel, but we needed to be certain. You are now part of something far greater than a simple conflict. The future of all sapient life hangs in the balance." As Sarah processed the quantum data now flooding her systems, she realized with growing horror that they'd stumbled into the opening moves of a war that had been brewing since before humanity first looked up at the stars. And somehow, Earth had just become a key player in a game they didn't even know was being played. Morrison stood, his face illuminated by the ghostly light of the quantum web surrounding them. "Dr. Chen, what exactly are we dealing with here?" Sarah's voice was barely a whisper as she decoded the last of the hidden message. "Sir, we're dealing with the end of everything, unless we can stop it." The attacking ships had gone silent, trapped like flies in amber by the quantum web. But Sarah knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had been drawn into a conflict that would test not just their military might, but their very understanding of what it meant to be human. And as she looked at the determination on her captain's face, she realized that might be exactly why they were chosen. The Situation Room at Earth Space Force Command was packed with humanity's highest-ranking military and scientific minds, but Admiral Helena Reyes only had eyes for the holographic display showing the quantum entanglement patterns Dr. Chen had discovered. After 3 days of analysis, the implications were staggering. "Let me be clear," Reyes addressed the assembled leaders, her voice carrying the weight of decades of command experience. "We're facing an enemy that's been orchestrating conflicts between spacefaring races for thousands of years. They manipulate from the shadows, pushing civilizations to destroy each other while they harvest the remnants." Dr. Chen stood beside her, having been recalled to Earth along with the Hawking. The Centauri Nexus discovered their existence by accident. These beings, we're calling them the architects. They don't just start wars. They seed technological developments, guide evolutionary paths, all to create specific types of civilizations that they can ultimately consume. "Consume how?" General Zhang's question cut through the murmurs of disbelief. "They feed on quantum consciousness," Sarah explained. "When a civilization reaches a certain level of advancement, their collective consciousness generates a specific quantum frequency. The architects harvest this energy, leaving behind empty husks of once great species." Admiral Reyes tapped a command, and the display shifted to show tactical data. The Nexus was attacked because they found a way to detect the architects' influence, but they also found something else, a weakness. The architects can't process chaotic quantum patterns. It disrupts their ability to feed. And humans, Sarah added, generate the most chaotic quantum patterns ever recorded. Our consciousness, our decision-making, our very way of thinking, it's completely unpredictable to them. That's why they've been keeping us isolated, working through proxies to prevent Earth from joining the wider galactic community. The room erupted in discussion, but Reyes raised her hand for silence. "We have an advantage they don't expect. While they've been manipulating species to be predictable, humanity has embraced chaos, creativity, and adaptation. We need to use that." "What's the plan?" Zhang asked. Reyes nodded to Commander Maya Patil, who stepped forward. "Operation Wildcard. We've identified key individuals across Earth's military and civilian sectors, people who think differently, who solve problems in ways no one else would consider. We're going to assemble them into specialized teams." The display showed profiles of selected individuals: a quantum physicist who composed jazz music, a military strategist who designed video games, a xenobiologist who studied ancient Earth myths, a special forces operator who was also a master chef. "The architects expect logical, predictable responses," Patil continued. "We're going to give them chaos. Each team will approach the problem from completely different angles. While they're trying to predict our next move, we'll be operating on levels they can't comprehend." Sarah stepped forward again. "The Nexus gave us more than just information. They provided quantum encryption keys that will let us communicate with other resistant species. There's an underground network of civilizations fighting back, each in their own way. But they need our help, our unpredictability, to have a chance. This isn't just about survival anymore, Rice concluded. This is about breaking a cycle that's destroyed countless civilizations. We're going to show these architects that they made a fatal mistake when they tried to keep humanity contained. They wanted predictable cattle to harvest. They're about to face something they've never encountered before. Human ingenuity unleashed. The plan moved quickly after that. Within days, the selected teams were assembled at a secret facility beneath the lunar surface. Dr. Chen found herself working with Team Chaos, a group specifically tasked with developing weapons that utilized human quantum irregularities. Their first breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Rajesh Kumar, a quantum physicist who spent his free time composing experimental jazz, noticed a pattern in the architect's quantum feeding signature that reminded him of musical harmonies. It's like they're trying to force the universe to play in a single key, he explained, his hands moving as if conducting an invisible orchestra. But what if we introduce discord? Not random noise, but carefully crafted dissonance. The team worked through the night, combining Kumar's musical theory with advanced quantum mechanics. They created what they called a consciousness amplifier, a device that could focus and broadcast human thought patterns across space, disrupting the architect's careful manipulations. The first test exceeded all expectations. When activated, the device created quantum ripples that made the architect's proxy ships lose coordination, their carefully planned attacks dissolving into confusion. But the real victory came when they discovered something unexpected. The quantum disruption wasn't just affecting the enemy. It was awakening something in the species they had controlled. Exposed to human thought patterns, other civilizations began breaking free from their predetermined paths, their own chaos and creativity emerging from millennia of suppression. As Sarah watched the data stream in from their first successful field test, she realized they weren't just fighting a war. They were starting a revolution. Humanity wasn't just resisting the architects. They were showing the galaxy a new way to exist, one where unpredictability and creativity weren't flaws to be corrected, but strengths to be embraced. They wanted us isolated because they feared this exact outcome, she told Admiral Reyes as they reviewed the results. Every species has the potential for chaos, for creativity. We're just the ones who never let it be suppressed. Reyes smiled, a rare expression on her usually stern face. Then let's show them what humanity does best. Break all the rules they thought couldn't be broken. The war was far from over, but for the first time, they had more than just hope. They had a weapon the architects could never defend against. The infinite, beautiful chaos of the human spirit. The quantum amplifier's success had changed everything, perhaps too well. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the newly established Interspecies Command Center, watching as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. The architects' carefully manipulated puppet civilizations were awakening, breaking free from their mental chains. But with freedom came chaos, and not all of it was productive. Another sector has gone dark, Commander Paddle reported, her holographic form flickering with interference. The Vorath Empire's breaking apart. Half their systems are in open rebellion, and they're using weapons we didn't even know they had. Admiral Rice studied the strategic display, where red zones of conflict spread like wildfire across the galactic map. We gave them the tools to break free, but we didn't anticipate how millennia of suppression would affect them. Some of these species are acting out centuries of repressed anger. Sarah's quantum consciousness monitors were picking up increasingly erratic patterns. The liberation is happening too fast. These civilizations aren't just embracing chaos. They're drowning in it, and the architects are adapting. She brought up the latest sensor data, showing strange new quantum signatures emerging from deep space. The architects were changing their tactics, using the very chaos they once feared as a weapon. They were learning to feed on the discord they had once avoided. They're not just harvesting consciousness anymore. Sarah explained, her voice tight with concern. They're consuming the raw energy of conflict itself. Every war we inspire, every rebellion we trigger, we're giving them a new form of sustenance. Dr. Kumar, who had been quietly analyzing the data, suddenly straightened. It's worse than that. Look at these harmonic patterns. He overlaid a musical scale across the quantum readings. They're not just feeding, they're conducting. The revelation hit Sarah like a physical blow. They're orchestrating this chaos. We thought we were disrupting their plans, but we're playing right into a deeper strategy. They've been manipulating civilizations for so long, they knew exactly how we'd all react when freed. A priority alert flashed across their screens. The Centauri Nexus, their first ally in this fight, had gone silent. Not destroyed. Something worse. The entire civilization had seemingly vanished, leaving behind only empty cities and powered-down technology. They ascended, came a new voice. Everyone turned to see a holographic figure materializing in the center of the command room. A being of pure energy, its form barely containing what looked like a galaxy of stars. Just as we did, eons ago. Admiral Rice's hand moved to her sidearm, though what good it would do against such a being was questionable. You're one of them. An architect. I am what you would call a defector, the being replied. Once, we were like you, physical beings seeking understanding. We found a way to transcend our material forms, to exist as pure consciousness. But the process left us, hungry. Sarah stepped forward, her mind racing. The quantum harvesting, it's not just food. You're trying to force other species to ascend. It was meant to be a gift. The architect's form rippled with what might have been regret. But the hunger changed us. We became addicted to the energy of ascending civilizations. We forgot our original purpose, which was, Rise demanded, to prepare the galaxy for what's coming. Something vast and terrible approaches from between the galaxies. We thought ordered, transcended civilizations would be strong enough to face it. We were wrong. The beam gestured, and the strategic display transformed, showing something that made Sarah's blood run cold. A wave of nothingness, advancing between the stars. Not darkness, not energy, but the complete absence of everything, including quantum consciousness itself. The void, the architect explained. It has consumed countless galaxies. We thought ascension was the answer, but our transcendence only made us more vulnerable. Your chaos, your unpredictability, it might be the only thing that can disrupt its advance. The implications staggered Sarah. They weren't just fighting the architects, they were unwittingly preparing for a war against oblivion itself. But the cost of this preparation was threatening to tear the galaxy apart. How long? Rise asked, her voice steady despite the weight of this revelation. At its current pace, 5 years until it reaches the galaxy's edge. But its influence is already being felt. Why do you think quantum consciousness evolved in so many species? It's a defensive adaptation against its approach. Sarah looked at the display showing the spreading chaos across the galaxy, seeing it with new eyes. We need to find a balance, she said, between chaos and order, between transcendence and physical form. We need to evolve, Kumar finished, his eyes alight with understanding. Not ascend, not transcend, but truly evolve. Find a new way of existing that combines the best of both states. The architect's form brightened. Now you understand why we watched your species so closely. You already walk this line. Your music, your art, your science, you constantly move between order and chaos, physical and spiritual. You might be able to show the galaxy a third path. But before they could explore this idea further, alarms blared throughout the command center. The void's influence had been detected at the edges of charted space, years ahead of predictions. The galaxy's chaos was drawing it like a beacon. Sarah met Reyes's eyes, seeing her own determination reflected there. They had started this revolution thinking they were fighting for freedom. Now they were fighting for existence itself, and they had less time than anyone had imagined to find a solution. The true war was about to begin, and humanity would need every ounce of its chaotic creativity to face what was coming. The lunar base's quantum lab hummed with energy as Dr. Sarah Chen reviewed the latest simulations. 3 months had passed since the architect's revelation about the void, and humanity had done what it did best: adapted and innovated. It's not about fighting chaos or embracing order, she explained to the assembled team of human and alien scientists. It's about finding harmony between the two. On the central display, a new form of quantum pattern danced, not the rigid structures of the architects, nor the wild chaos of liberation, but something entirely new. Dr. Kumar's fingers moved across his quantum interface like a pianist at play. We're composing with consciousness itself. Every species contributes its own unique frequency to the symphony. The team had discovered that each civilization's quantum consciousness signature was unique, like a fingerprint in the fabric of reality. When properly harmonized, these signatures could create something unprecedented: a network of minds that maintained their individuality while achieving a greater resonance together. Admiral Rice entered the lab, her expression grave. The void has consumed 3 more systems at the galaxy's edge. Our time is running out. Show them. Sarah nodded to Kumar. He activated the main prototype, a device they called the Quantum Harmonic Bridge. Unlike the consciousness amplifiers that had started the liberation, this technology didn't broadcast chaos or impose order. Instead, it created connections, allowing different species to share their unique ways of perceiving and interacting with reality. The architects thought transcendence meant leaving the physical behind. Sarah explained. The void represents absolute entropy, the death of both physical and quantum states. But what if the answer isn't choosing between states, but learning to exist in both simultaneously? The display showed the results of their first successful test. When connected through the bridge, humans and aliens could share not just thoughts or emotions, but entire ways of being. A Centauri scientist could experience human intuition. A human could understand Vorith mathematical perception. Each connection created new patterns of consciousness that the void couldn't unravel. It's like an immune system for reality itself, Commander Patil observed. Each species strengthens the others, creating a defense that's both ordered and unpredictable. But their breakthrough had come with a cost. The rogue architect who had helped them had been discovered by its kind. Now the remaining architects were moving openly for the first time in millennia, seeing their carefully laid plans crumbling. They're attacking the bridge networks, Rise reported. They think they're saving us by forcing transcendence. They can't understand that we found another way. Sarah brought up the latest battle footage. Architect vessels, previously unseen, emerged from quantum space to attack bridge facilities. But something unexpected was happening. Where the bridge networks were strongest, reality itself seemed to be changing. We're not just connecting consciousness, Sarah realized, watching the data stream in. We're teaching the universe new ways to exist. Regions connected by the bridge were becoming resistant to both the architect's forced transcendence and the void's entropy. Physical laws remained constant, but consciousness could flow between states freely. Matter and energy, order and chaos, physical and quantum, all existing in a harmony that neither the architects nor the void had thought possible. The bridge isn't just a defense, Kumar said excitedly. It's an evolution engine. Each connection, each shared perspective, creates new possibilities. We're not fighting the end of existence. We're helping it grow into something new. Reports began flooding in from across the galaxy. Species that had been at war found themselves sharing perspectives through the bridge, understanding each other in ways no traditional communication could achieve. The chaos of liberation was transforming into a complex dance of interconnected consciousness. Even some of the younger architects, those less set in their ways, began to show interest. They saw in the bridge network something they had lost in their pursuit of transcendence: the ability to grow, to change, to exist in multiple states of being. We need to expand the network faster, Rice decided. Every connected system strengthens all the others. We're not just saving ourselves anymore. We're saving reality itself. Sarah looked at the quantum patterns swirling on her display. They reminded her of Earth's oceans, of weather patterns, of the growth of cities, complex systems that found balance between chaos and order. Humanity had always lived in this balance, and now they were teaching the galaxy to do the same. The void is still coming, she reminded them. And the elder architects won't stop trying to save us their way. But for the first time, I think we have a real chance, not just to survive, but to show the universe a new way to live. As if in response to her words, the bridge network pulsed with new connections, each one a testament to the incredible adaptability of life, consciousness, and reality itself. The war wasn't over, but its nature had changed. They were no longer fighting against something, but for something, a future where existence itself could evolve beyond what anyone had imagined possible. The void loomed at the galaxy's edge like a wound in reality itself. From the observation deck of humanity's newest vessel, the ESS Unity, Dr. Sarah Chen watched as the quantum readings defied every known law of physics. Besides her, Dr. Kumar's hands moved constantly, adjusting the harmonic bridge's settings as they prepared for humanity's most ambitious attempt yet. All bridge networks are synchronized, he reported. We're receiving consciousness signatures from over 10,000 species. Admiral Rice stood at the command station, her posture rigid but her eyes bright with determination. The architect's fleet is holding position. They're waiting to see what we'll do. The past year had transformed the galaxy. The bridge network had grown beyond anyone's expectations, creating a vast web of shared consciousness that strengthened with each new connection. But the void had accelerated its advance, as if sensing the threat to its entropy. We're ready, Sarah announced, checking the final calculations. The Unity wasn't just a ship, it was the largest bridge device ever constructed, designed to channel the combined consciousness of an entire galaxy. Through the bridge network, Sarah could feel the presence of countless civilizations, each contributing their unique perspective to the whole. The warlike Vorith brought their understanding of strategy and conflict. The crystalline nexus shared their grasp of quantum mathematics. Thousands of species, each adding their own note to the universal symphony. The void is reacting, Commander Paddle reported from her station. It's changing course, coming straight for us. The elder architects made their move. Their ships, vast constructs of transcended matter, surged forward. But they weren't attacking. They were attempting to interface with the bridge network. Let them in, Sarah ordered, surprising everyone on the bridge. They need to understand. Through the bridge, the architects experienced something they had forgotten in their pursuit of transcendence. The joy of discovery, the beauty of limitation, the strength found in diversity. Their consciousness, so long focused on a single path, was exposed to infinite possibilities. The Unity's quantum core hummed as it channeled the combined consciousness of the galaxy, not forcing it into transcendence, not letting it dissolve into chaos, but finding a harmony that could exist in all states simultaneously. The void is almost here, Kumar warned. Whatever we're going to do. Sarah closed her eyes, feeling the rhythm of countless minds thinking, feeling, existing together. We're not going to fight it. We're going to teach it. The void struck the bridge network like absolute silence crashing into a symphony. But instead of destroying the music, it became part of it. The network didn't resist the nothingness. It embraced it, showing the void something it had never encountered before, the possibility of being more than just an end. Through the bridge, Sarah felt the moment the void began to change. It wasn't just consuming anymore. It was learning, experiencing, becoming part of the great dance of existence. Its nothingness became another note in the universal symphony, a rest between beats that gave meaning to the sound. The elder architects, watching through their connection to the bridge, finally understood. Transcendence wasn't about leaving the physical behind, And survival wasn't about imposing order on chaos. It was about finding ways to be both, and neither, and everything in between. The void. It's retreating, Pahil announced, her voice filled with wonder. No, it's transforming, becoming something new. On the quantum displays, they watched as reality itself evolved. Regions touched by the void didn't vanish. They changed, becoming spaces where new forms of existence could emerge. The bridge network had shown the universe that endings could also be beginnings. The architects' ships powered down, their ancient mission finally complete, though not in the way they had expected. Through the bridge, they shared their accumulated knowledge, no longer seeking to force evolution, but to participate in it. "We did it," Kumar whispered, watching the quantum harmonics stabilize into patterns never before seen in this galaxy. But Sarah knew this wasn't an ending, it was a beginning. Humanity had shown the galaxy that the greatest strength wasn't in transcending limitations, but in learning to turn them into advantages. Every species now had the opportunity to explore new ways of being, to grow in directions they had never imagined possible. Admiral Rice turned to her crew, a rare smile on her face. "Send word to Earth. Tell them humanity just helped reality itself evolve." As the message was sent, Sarah watched the quantum patterns dance across her display. They reminded her of Earth's oceans, of wind through trees, of cities growing and changing, of music flowing through the air. In finding a way to save the galaxy, humanity had helped create something entirely new, a universe where consciousness and reality could grow together, each making the other stronger. The war was over, but the real adventure was just beginning. Through the bridge network, she could feel countless civilizations beginning to explore their new potential, learning to exist in ways that bridged the gap between physical and quantum, order and chaos, being and becoming. Humanity had done what it did best, faced the impossible, adapted, and found a way not just to survive, but to thrive. And in doing so, they had helped the entire galaxy discover that the greatest victories don't come through dominance or transcendence, but through understanding, growth, and the courage to become something new.